Hey, this is Matt. I just wanted to do an update. It's been a week or two since I've done one. Seems like a lot has been going on that is all positive things. And what's interesting is you do this. I met with my old boss over at Tripwire the other day, Jim Johnson, and he was asking me how things were going. And it's interesting. You make progress and you think you're way down a path, and then you kind of get hit in the head with something and realize you need to go back and reiterate. And it's a process of constantly cycling through and getting better. And that's what this last month has really been about. A month ago, we had this big ambiguous idea because we understand some pieces about the social network that most people are not going to be in their frame of reference, I think. And we kept wanting to talk about those, and even after user feedback, I kept wanting to show this visualization that I was stuck on. And I knew after user feedback that wasn't, they were like, well, that's interesting, but what the hell do I do with that? And there was no comprehension of, great, well, so what, and how do I make that actionable? And we have this big vision for where we're going, but we were stuck on some of the details that really didn't allow us to move past that. And it's amazing when you're so close to this, how much you can get hooked to a detail and you don't want to let go of it. So I was meeting with one of our advisors the other day, Gene Kim, a good friend of mine, and Gene finally looked at me in a way that only Gene can look at me and say, why in the hell do you keep showing me this thing? It makes no sense and it doesn't help me in any way. So it's kind of my equivalent to Gene hitting me in the forehead with a 2x4 and finally getting me off this point of showing this thing and being in the weeds when we describe it. And so what I went back and did was I've actually been the person who needs to be in that detail and needs to solve those problems when I was at my last job and running social strategy. And so what I went back and did was I said, all right, if I was to approach that problem as a user, what are all the questions that I want answered? And I came up with about a page and a half worth of questions that walk through the entire process from an individual understanding their community to where I sit in that community to what do I do about that, to how do I manage and motivate a team related to that. So all these pieces that are critical to someone running social strategy and the different personas that people wear different hats and they have to look at it in different ways. And so I went through and I started to look at what the market does today, what we do, and where we fill in the gaps. And I think there's some significant pieces there. But also what that helped me do was we're at the stage in our prototype where we need to develop the user experience. And so I went through and my real challenge was, how do I take all these questions that we want to answer over a period of time, and what's the simplest set of questions that I can show a core, unique value from the market today to not only our users, but to potential investors, but to people we talk to people this problem about. And so over the last 3 or 4 days, I've come up with in fact, it was Sunday night at about midnight, or Saturday night at midnight, which is, what you do for a good time on Saturdays whenever you're an entrepreneur, I guess. But I created the mock-ups for the first visual, for the first prototype, because we've done most of the back-end work. Now it's about a question of what's the display and how do you walk someone through a user experience that gets them to that clean answer, which was a challenge to keep it simple. But I think we're getting close there. And the cool part about that is the other part that I'm working on is the investor pitch. And we've been giving that quite a few times, and I had a chance to give it to somebody the other day who tore it apart, which was good. And some of those slides that I still had a gap in refilling in, this process has helped me understand more clearly the value that we're adding to giving to our customers, and also where we differentiate ourselves, which is a big thing that we've struggled in articulating because of the complexity of the problem. And so it's been a good couple of weeks in sense of that, and I think we're narrowing in on getting that pitch done and the prototype really clean and being able to tell a compelling value, or give a compelling value to our customers in a way that they actually know what to do with all this data that's coming at them, and they can do something functional with it. So anyways, I just also wanted to say real quickly is that a lot of people give me a lot of feedback on these things, and I appreciate that a lot. It means that I know that people are paying attention and care about what we're doing. And it's amazing what video does for people. So thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Hopefully in another couple weeks we'll have a couple of new updates. I've got to give a pitch here to Pitch Fest at the Portland State Business Accelerator on the 20th of October. And we've got a bunch of things coming up in October, as well as a real prototype that a lot of people have been talking to us about looking at. And I guess the one segment of the market we've been talking to lately that seems to be popping up is a lot of agencies. A lot of PR agencies, a lot of marketing agencies who have specific use cases that they could see the value of the predictive analytics piece. And so October will be an interesting month. I think we'll make a lot of progress on not only prototyping and validating that with potential customers, but also with hopefully with some funding. So we're working through those things, and I'll give you updates as they come. I appreciate your support. Thanks everybody for watching.